1 year, I did not step out of my bedroom. I was confined to my bedroom. I was afraid of going into the lift, traveling in the car, going in a hotel room which has a locked window and all. Even in the movie, went up by 100 times between 2004, 5 and 2015, 16. And I was the largest shareholder in those 3 companies. Here in life have been my biggest assets. If I was not in stock market, I would have been in the army. So when I was in class 7th, I wanted to join NCC. So when I was in class 7th, I wanted to join NCC. So when I approached the NCC department, I was told that I am late for the admission because admission is closed 15 days back. So now I have to come back next year. So, but I was very much desperate and didn't want to lose my 1 year. So every day whenever NCC class used to take place, I would just go and stand outside the NCC class and watch and listen what is happening inside. So one army officer used to come there to take classes. One day he saw me after 3 or 4 classes. He saw that I am always standing outside the class. He called me in and asked me why you are standing outside. I said because I wanted to get in, but I am late for the admission. So somebody from the class told him that, sir, he is a good singer. So he told me, okay, sing one song. So I started singing a song. Then he asked me to sing another song. Like this, I sang 4 or 5 songs. He was very much impressed and he took me into NCC. So there I learned this lesson that perseverance, if you want to get something in life, you have to be after it. Don't just give up. When I was in class 10th, suddenly my father died and I had to appear for the final examination, which I failed. So the future for education was over for me from that day. But one of my distant uncle approached the headmaster and told him the fact that my father had died 3 months back. So that headmaster actually gave me another chance to reappear. And the questions paper were also set little easy so that I can pass. I somehow passed. But after that, I was no more interested in study. I was only interested in grow faster so that I can support my family. We were coming from a humble background. In one bedroom, we 6 of us, our family used to live, and we did not have any savings or any capital and all. So I thought that I should do something for myself or for my family. But somehow actually my mother approached one astrologer, and astrologer told my mom that don't worry, your son is going to be in the biggest university of India. But actually astrologer was also failed because I did not go beyond my graduation. When I turned 19, I joined stock market and started trading because that was the only thing I could do in my life without education, without experience, without capital, without savings. It was very much unorganized, like a gambling. So I started doing trading and I really did well for 6 months or 1 year, and I started supporting my family. I thought that I am really invincible and I have really learned the trick of the trade and I am going to become a crorepati millionaire very soon. But suddenly that luck which was actually doing that, what was playing with me, the opportunity started slipping out of my hand, and now my losing trades were more than my winning trades. So there was one incident where I, received I had a lot of losses, and the situation came to this extent where where my mother had to sell, about to sell her jewelry to pay off my dues. So I was in really distress. I prayed to God to save me, and somehow God actually saved me. So there I learned this lesson that nobody in the world is invincible, and I learned the lesson of stop loss in life. And also I learned that prayer really works in life. After that, after a few years, I got married with a lot of difficulty because nobody was willing to give me their daughter to a person who does not have even a separate room to live with his wife, and who does not have a stable income. So somehow a girl, got ready. Bad luck to her or good luck to her, and I got married. After a year, I got a son also. But things were a little hand to mouth only. There was one incident where I did not have even 14 rupees to buy a box of milk, Lactodex, to feed my son. So things were going on. So I thought, let me do something else also. So in my spare time, I started supplying material into tea gardens in and around Kolkata. I was born and brought up in Kolkata only. So I started supplying materials in tea garden. There was one incident where I had some money and I was going to buy one stereo system, some expensive stereo system, because I was very fond of singing music and all. So a friend of mine advised me not to invest, not to buy something which is a depreciating assets. He told me instead of buying some depreciating assets, you should buy some appreciating assets. I understood and I bought a cheaper stereo system, and rest of the money, whatever balance I had, I invested into, so I bought some silver. Then I thought, let me do something else, let me try my luck in Mumbai, because Mumbai was and is still the financial capital of India. So I approached one of my distant relatives who was living in Bombay, a wealthy person. I asked him if he can get me into stock market, because stock market, my first to 100th love was stock market only. He said, okay, he knows one of the broker, you come to Mumbai and I will get you into stock market. So I went to Mumbai and approached that broker through him. The broker made me sit outside his office for 3-4 hours for 3-4 days, and he was a very nice person. After that, he called me one day inside and told me, look, my son, you don't waste your time. It is impossible to get into Bombay Stock Exchange, so you please don't waste your time and go back to Kolkata. So now Bombay chapter was closed for me, and I went back to Kolkata. So after 4 or 5 years, again one of my friend who had shifted to Mumbai into stock market, I approached him and asked him if he can get me into Mumbai Stock Exchange. He said, okay, you come to Mumbai, I will get you into stock exchange. So I came to Mumbai, stayed with one of my cousin in Malad, and every day I used to travel from Malad to Churchgate by train to go to Mumbai Stock Exchange. So I did the same thing for 3 days. Fourth day, I was so much suffocated and I had become claustrophobic that I get off at the next station of Malad, came to my sister's house and told her, this is not ever I have done in my life and I can't travel by train. It is so crowded, so suffocated. So I stayed in Mumbai for 3-4 days and after that I left because I did not have money to go by taxi from Malad to Churchgate and come back. So I thought this Bombay chapter is closed for me. I went back to Kolkata. After 6 months staying again in Kolkata, I decided it is better to die in an ocean rather than dying in here in Kolkata Hooghly River. I took another attempt. Yeah. So I took another attempt and I found out one paying a system in Kapparate where they had that servant quarter they used to convert livable and used to give for paying guest and all. So I came and stayed there. And for next 1 year, 1.5 years, I kept on changing the place. But that was the time, after 1.5 years, that was the time that bull market of the century started. That was way back in 1992. So whatever 35,000 rupees worth of shares I had brought from Kolkata to Mumbai, I sold that shares and invested in and traded into one shares, which after 1 year went up by 10 times. So that was my first moonshot of my life, and I bought one bedroom whole kitchen flat in Jogeshwari East because the base was very low. And I called my mother, my wife, my 2 sons, and my younger brother. We 6 of us started living there. After that, Harshad Mehta scam broke out, and Ketan Parikh scam broke out. I lost a lot of money, but still I saved at least house and some shares. Ketan Parikh scam was so severe that Kolkata Stock Exchange actually failed. Okay, and the situation has become so painful here in Mumbai that people thought that stock market is not going to revive for next 5 to 10 years. So I had nothing else to do. So one of my friends had shifted to Germany, Frankfurt. He offered me, why don't you come and join me as a partner? Let us do something together. So I went to Germany and stayed there for 16 months. And in finding some new line and all. But from there also, I was always observing and trading into stock market here in Mumbai. After 18 months, nothing happened. I spent a lot of money. Whatever liquidity I had spent in my traveling. Every month I used to come to Mumbai to meet my family, or sometime I used to call them. So I spent a lot of money in traveling and living. Germany living is also very expensive, Frankfurt basically. So I was very much disappointed and very much frustrated. So one day I was going, one night I was going from Mumbai to Frankfurt again, but I was not one who can give up easily. So one night I was going back to Frankfurt by Lufthansa flight, and the flight was, the doors were closed down, the flight was about to leave. I started shouting, oh, let me get down, let me get down. And the air hostess actually understood my situation. I was really panicky somehow. After a lot of drama, they let me go. And when I went down, police was standing there and a doctor was standing there. And they checked me. They found that my blood pressure is 165 or 125. They understood that I was not faking. It was a genuine thing, and they let me go. After that, that claustrophobic attack, second time which came, was so huge that for 1 year I did not step out of my bedroom. I was confined to my bedroom. I was afraid of going into the lift, traveling in the car, going in a hotel room which has a locked window and all, even in the movie theater and all. My spiritual guru told me that time, you don't do stock market, don't think about stock market, otherwise you will go insane because your mind is not in order. So my only job was to sit in my room or sleep on my bed and watching at the ceiling. This is what I did for 1 year. So that was the time actually, mother of all the bull market. After 1 year, after that, 1.5 years, mother of all the bull market started. And since I was always, by mind, I was always active in the stock market, I participated in that bull market and started doing trading. And whatever money I got from that trading, I invested in 3 such shares, which went up by 100 times between 2004, 5 and 2015, 16. And I was the largest shareholder in those 3 companies. In between, I got an offer around 2009 and all. I got an offer from a tea garden which was up for sale. I realized this is the same tea garden where I used to supply materials. I bought the tea garden. In between, I was offered a bulk of shares of a dairy company which was into milk products and milk products. I bought that block of that company and gifted to my wife and told her, this is your reward for that 14 rupees which could not arrange. After that, I was invited by almost many top-most business school, as a business school of India, in universities of India, as a keynote speaker, including Wellington or SP Jain or IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Bangalore, even London Business School or TEDx. I am here today in front of you. So, in between, I was also conferred an honorary doctorate. So, currently, I am largest shareholder in more than 15 companies, largest after the promoters. So whatever little bit success I have got so far, that is because of my faith in Indian economy, my love for the stock market, and my focus on investing. I think in last 28 years, gold has given 9 times return, and fixed deposit has given 10 times return. Equity has given 32 times return in last 28 years. Idea is to stay investing for longer term. India took 60 years to reach to $1 trillion economy. It took 7 years to add another $1 trillion, and now every 5 years, India should be adding $1 trillion. So now, as Einstein had said, that compounding is the 8th wonder. If you invest 10,000 rupees in any mutual fund or any stock which grows at 13%, then in 20 years your 10,000 rupees will become 1 crore. So this is my message to you, that whenever you are going to spend 10,000 rupees in Zara or Forever Mark or Starbucks or wherever, think about that you are spending 1 crore rupees of 20 years later. So now thing is this, the message is this, that money is the root cause of all the happiness, provided you have great health to enjoy it, a loyal family, loyal friends, and loving family to celebrate it, and a compassionate heart to share it. At last, I am going to tell you that few years back, I went to Germany, Frankfurt, stayed for 21 days to complete the trip which was incompleted. Thank you very much.